How often have you had one of those conversations with a family member or perhaps a colleague in which they refer back to a long-standing disagreement or dispute they've had with someone else? It seems to you like a never-ending saga with no resolution. Then one day they remark, perhaps with a shrug of the shoulder, "Well, I'm reconciled to it now. They're never going to see things my way. They're never going to apologise. It is what it is." How depressing to hear those words. There's no sense of moving forward. Rather, the situation has just got stuck. Neither party feels any satisfaction or release from their feelings of anger and resentment. It's just been put on the back burner until one day, inevitably, the whole sorry saga will start up again. Contrast this with the same relative or friend who comes to you and declares that they are now reconciled to the person they have been at odds with for so long. You can sense in them, you can even see in their face, the sense of release from carrying the burden of anger and resentment that has been laid down in strata over so many years. They have a sense of freedom, a new outlook on things. Now, apart from the outcome in these two situations, the main difference is in the personal pronoun. Contrast the outcome of "I am reconciled" with "we are reconciled." As the old saying goes, it takes two to tango, and reconciliation is not something that can be achieved without the other party's active involvement or agreement. In Greek, the word for reconciliation means an exchange, and that is indeed what needs to be taking place before it can be accomplished. True recognition demands forgiveness. However, if this is one-sided, the process cannot be completed. We may forgive someone, but still remain estranged. For reconciliation to be real, then both parties must want and be active in the process. Now, forgiveness is hard, very hard, and too often we feel that it should be part of a reciprocal arrangement. We demand that the guilty party acknowledges their shortcomings and seeks forgiveness. Only then will we enter into a dialogue with them. In these circumstances, true reconciliation cannot take place. It is indeed a very important element in our relationship with God. Jesus makes it clear in Matthew 5:23-24 that before making an offering, you should first be reconciled with whoever has something against you. If you hold on to resentment and unforgiveness, it mars our relationship with our Heavenly Father. We may not be able to achieve the goal of complete harmony, but we must be prepared to make the attempt. Mending broken human relationships obviously impacts on our life here on earth, but far more important is reconciliation between God and humanity, for that affects all of us for all eternity. When we approach the throne of grace and openly acknowledge our shortcomings and look for forgiveness, we are really looking to restore that broken relationship and become reconciled with God. When we think about this process in human relationships, we can see that what we're probably looking for is that the other party meets us halfway. There needs to be forgiveness and acceptance on both sides. However, God tackled the healing of man's relationship with him in quite a different way. Rather than demand that we meet him halfway, the Father has already provided, through the sacrificial gift of his only Son, all that needs to be done for reconciliation. All he asks is that we have the faith to accept it. The parable of the Good Samaritan illustrates perfectly that reconciliation is a two-way process. The Father, although dreadfully wronged, stands and waits for his wayward Son to return home with his arms outstretched. The Son has acknowledged, first to himself and then to his Father, the error of his ways. And when he approaches home, the first words he utters are, "I have sinned against heaven and against you." A full and frank admission of his guilt. Interestingly, the Father makes no comment directly to him. There is no recrimination or demand for an explanation of his behaviour, but rather his only words are of welcome and celebration that his Son has finally returned home. We must grasp the opportunity to return to our Father with the same honesty and remorse, and then we can be sure that reconciliation will take place and we will be welcomed with open arms.